Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple with another YouTube mini class for you today. Woo! We are on YouTube number 96 and we are just 4 away from 100 YouTubes. Woo! Other girls and I have been talking and I think we have come up with an awesome idea for giveaways on our 100th YouTube. So you are going to want to stay tuned for that. It's just a few weeks away and I think we'll have prizes galore. I can't wait to share with you what our plan is. But for now, today, we are going to be working with some Tim Holtz product. We're going to be working with Viva Decor product. We've got Sukwang tape. We've got glitter. I have got a ton. We've got the Tim Holtz frameworks, which are a steel rule die by Sizzix. And Tim can kind of be a little grungy sometimes. So I want to show you not only some grunge, but I want to show you some really pretty. And Viva Decor has come out with some beautiful new product that I can't wait to share with you. And that incorporated with the new dies from Tim. Oh, yum! But first, we have Winner Chicken Dinner. Yes, from our last YouTube where we worked with Elizabeth Craft peel-offs and brushable markers and highlight glitter, her polished silk glitter. So, do you want to be a Winner Chicken Dinner? Are you listening? Are you straining? Are you here? Okay, drum roll. If you are Susie Oliver, Susie, congratulations. I hope this makes your weekend, woo! Because you have won some wonderful product from Elizabeth Crafts and Zig markers. Yay! We have one more. Are you ready? Drum roll for you too. If you are Maureen Doherty, congratulations, Maureen. You are a winner chicken dinner. Now, how did these great gals get to be winner chicken dinners? They watched the YouTube, they watched the last YouTube all the way through, and then they went and they posted their comments. So that's what you have to do if you want a chance to win some great prizes. You have to watch the YouTube. You have to then go post a comment on this YouTube, and you can say anything you want that's kind and nice. You can say hi to the SMS girls. You can say happy spring. You can say it's my birthday. They say it's my birthday. It's not mine yet. I'm not until October, so let's not push that one, right? I'm gonna be 46. But just post a nice comment. Know that I have to approve that comment before you'll be able to see it on YouTube. And just by doing that, you will go into a random drawing and you could be a winner chicken dinner of stuff we're using today. So, and you do have to be a subscriber. So if you're not a subscriber on YouTube, it's very simple to do. Go ahead and subscribe and then you can get onto our channel. Now, what else do we have to talk about? We've got the flash sale still going on. If you haven't heard about the flash sale, we have done another flash sale in conjunction with Sizzix. It's for embossing folders. It's less than $1 an embossing folder. $19.99 goes a really long way. I have to tell you, we only have a few hundred left. That's it, and then they're gone. I'm gonna leave it up until they're done. So they may be done by the time this YouTube is over. If you pushed me on pause, here's my pause look. Okay, did you push me on pause when I look like that? Go run and get your flash sale. I'm gonna tilt on down and I'm gonna show you what that product is and then you can pause me. Hold on, I'm gonna tilt on down and we're gonna get started for today, okay? Bye. All right, so we have got the flash sale still going on, and as I said, we only have a few hundred left. We have got embossing folders by Sizzix, and this one has the heart and the crown. That's one package. They retail for $10.99 per package. So both of these would be $10.99 normally. And if you run to Sizzix.com right now, and you'll see they're $10.99. We have this set. We have this set here for you that has the postcard and the airmail. Comes with 4 embossing folders in this set. Again, it's a $10.99 value. Here we go, another set with the little seeds and the flourish. Isn't that beautiful? $10.99. The frames, I love that bottom frame. I hope you guys can see it. It's absolutely beautiful. Love this frame. The buttons, the vintage buttons in the vintage button frame. So cute. The keys and the place setting. Oh my gosh, darling. The clocks, who doesn't need clocks? I mean, that's just a all-purpose in the alphabet. Those are just all-purpose embossing folders. The cameo, the frame. Again, the frames are just awesome. This one comes with 4 embossing folders. And then the bird cage, if you can see it, and the bird. All of this comes, it comes packaged here like this. So you can see the 2, $10.99. You're going to get everything you see for $19.99. That is less than $1 an embossing folder. So if you've never played with embossing folders, but you have a Cuttlebug, a Spellbinder, a Sizzix Big Shot, a Sizzix Big Kick, a Vagabond, a Pro Machine, you want these embossing folders. You'll never see this deal again. Not even at our warehouse sale will we have these embossing folders. So if you know somebody who loves embossing folders, if you and your friend love embossing folders, split the deal. Even if there's a couple you don't love, give those to your crafty buddies and keep the ones you do love. For $19.99, you can't go wrong. And like I said, there's only a couple hundred sets left. So if you have to, I understand. Put me on pause. There's my nails. Put me on pause. I'll show you my nails while you put me on pause. Go and buy your flash sale at www.shop@sms.com. That's www, the word shop, the word @sms.com. And then come back and then we'll show you everything else we've got for today. But it's okay if you pause me. I totally understand because so many of you missed out on the Xyron bundle. I don't want you to miss out on this one. All right. So now you're back. Thank you for joining me again. I have got just darling things to show you. This was one of the make and takes we did a couple weeks ago. And this die right back here is a Tim Holtz Frameworks. And a Frameworks die is a steel rule die. See how thick it is? Normally we talk about wafer dies. It's not always that often that we get to use the steel rule dies. But a steel rule die is a thick die. And that means it has an actual blade in the design. If you were to step on this or push it down, you will feel that there's a blade in there. The benefit of a steel rule die is that it will cut heavier, thicker materials. It will cut heavy chipboard. It will cut heavy acetate. It will cut sandpaper. It will cut leather. It will cut several sheets of cardstock. You could probably layer this with 6 sheets of cardstock and it'll cut through without any problem. But Tim Holtz tends to be a little bit grungy, and we do grunge here. We've got our teacher Colleen who does amazing grunge here, but we also wanted to show you some other ways to use some of the Tim product that maybe is a little more pretty. So I have also got product from Viva Decor. I've got the Fiero, which is, and I've got their new Maya Gold. And we're gonna play with both of these products as well today, along with some of the Tim Holtz Distress glitter. This is a chunky glitter. It is not like the Elizabeth Crafts polished silk. This is a much chunkier glitter. So we're gonna get started for today. And I think the first thing I'm gonna talk about is the chipboard. Now we have got new chipboard in. They come in packages. It's 8.5 by 11 and you get, I think, 12 sheets. We've got 3 different weights of chipboard. We've got a heavyweight, a lightweight, and then we just have a craft cardstock. Now we've taken this chipboard and here's the packaging. There it is. This is the lightweight, which is what we're using today, but it's 8.5 by 11 and you do get 12 sheets and it's by Whirlwind. Now you know we're doing a lot of stuff with Whirlwind. Their paper's just beautiful. So they packaged up this chipboard to make it easier to sell for people. And we have taken that chipboard and we have cut it down to the size we're looking for. Now I've also taken Sukwang tape and I've put it across the front of my chipboard. But you're like, what is Sukwang tape? In case you do not know, Sukwang tape is a double stick adhesive. It's double-sided tape. It holds everything. It holds beads, it holds glitter, it holds acetate, it holds fabric, it holds ribbon, it holds everything. And it comes in many different widths, everything from 1/8 inch all the way up to 6 inches. And it's sticky. The minute you peel it off, that's sticky. And you would take that and you would put it down onto a piece of paper or a piece of chipboard, and then you're gonna peel this top piece off to expose the sticky. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do right now. I'm going to take a piece. Now the beautiful thing about Sukwang is that it tears. You don't have to use scissors if you don't want to. I just tear it right off and I'm going to put it right down on my piece of chipboard. Now, I want to say this lightweight chipboard is slightly heavier than your cereal boxes. Not too much heavier, so if you've got kids and you go through a lot of Captain Crunch, or Cocoa Puffs, or Fruity Pebbles, you can save your chipboard from those boxes, or Wheaties, Cheerios, and you can use that chipboard from those boxes to do the exact same thing I have done. Now, I've put sukwang on both sides. Both sides. Usually we just put sukwang on one side because we're either going to make a sticker out of it if it's on the bottom, or we put it on the top because we're going to glitter it. Well, I did it on both sides, and I'm going to show you why. Let's bring my Big Shot machine on over. Now, the Sizzix Big Shot machine is the die cutting machine of choice here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and I have got one of my Tim Holtz alterations dies, and I'm gonna put my chipboard right on top of it. Now, because this is a thick die, you don't need to have your multi-purpose platform or your magnetic platform. I'm gonna put my do not cut plate down first, which has been cut into, but I forgive. So I've got my do not cut plate down first, I've got my die face up, and I've got my chipboard that has sukwang on both sides. I'm gonna sandwich it in and send it on through. Now, you may hear some creaks and cracks. That's okay, not a problem. I'm gonna pull it off and move that out of my way, and this is where we're at. So you can see it cut through beautifully. No problem, I didn't run it back and forth, I just ran it once and it cut through perfectly. So here's my die. I've got all of these little bits and pieces that I can save because I may use them later. Pop all those little bad boys out, and this is what I'm left with. Sukwang on both sides. Now you're like, but why do you want to do that? Well, it's simple. I want to do that for a reason. I made the back side a sticker, but the top side I'm going to glitter. So you can put sukwang on both sides of your chipboard or your paper. Let's say you had a sheet of paper. Let's say you had this piece of paper. It was just a scrap left over, and you knew you were going to glitter it with an opaque glitter. So the polished silk glitter by Elizabeth Crafts would work beautifully. You could put sukwang on both sides of this, run it through your die, glitter over the top, and you'll never see this paper again. You'll never see it again once you've covered it with glitter, and then you'd peel off the back to make it a sticker. You can take the yucky paper that you thought you loved or the little scraps that you don't know what to do with, and if you cover it with sukwang on both sides and you use an opaque glitter, you'll never see the paper again. Poof, gone. Nobody knows that that's what was underneath. Nobody has to know. So I've got here, and I'm just gonna peel the top off. Well, there, that's what should go with getting nails. I've got my gels on, and makes it a little more difficult. There we go. Now it's sticky right now. Can you see that it's shiny? That's sticky right now. I have to do something with that. I have to do something with that. I am going to grab some of my, my distress glitter. Now, distress glitter is different than the Elizabeth Crafts. This is a Tim Holtz product, and it is far more chunky. It mimics a glass glitter, but it is an actual plastic, so it's not rough and sharp on your hands, but it is thicker than your Elizabeth Crafts, and no, it doesn't need to be burnished. And I'm just gonna dump that all over. Tap, 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 tap. Make sure I got it everywhere I want it to go. Give it a brush. And I have now glittered my alterations die. And the beautiful thing is it's still a sticker. So let me put all this back in, because I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna get it all gathered and I'm gonna dump it right back in. You use so little of this glitter. Put it all right back in. And now I can take a piece of cardstock or pattern paper or whatever I'm using, and I can peel off the back and lay it down and adhere it to my card. That is the beauty of Scrapbooking tape. Look at how simple that was. No glue, no fuss, no muss, all done. All done. So I used the Scrapbooking tape on top and on the bottom to make a really pretty embellishment. Now, I have this piece left over, right? What am I gonna do with this? Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but let's see. I have got, you don't ever throw these away. This is now a mask. I've got another piece of cardstock right here, and I have laid that Scrapbooking tape right over the top. I just took the Scrapbooking tape and laid it right over the top of a piece of cardstock. I'm going to peel to expose my sticky. You see the shiny, it's sticky right now. I'm going to take and I'm going to lay this piece that normally you would throw away, because that was the top of this, it's the extra. I'm going to lay it right down. And I'm going to grab the piece that I pulled off, that solid piece, and I'm going to press it down. I don't want to use my fingers because my fingers then are going to stick to the sticky. This is the only thing that won't stick to the sticky. So now it's adhered down really well. Let's grab another color of the glitter. Now you can use any glitter to do this technique. You can use the Elizabeth Crafts, you can use the Tim Holtz Distress Glitter, which is what I'm using. The Distress Glitter has a little more vintagey feel. It's not quite as glittery as you would think it would be as a typical glitter. I'm just gonna brush it on off. Any place I missed, I'm gonna add a little bit. Then I'm gonna put all this back and just dump it right back into my glitter pot. Now I'm gonna peel this top piece off, and what's gonna be under there? I'm going to expose sticky that hadn't got glitter on it because we used it as a mask. When people mention a mask, this is what they're talking about. We masked off part of the card. And I'm gonna take a different color glitter. Well, let's use the really bright yellow. Or not, maybe it's not open. Do I have an open one? Hopefully I do. There we go. Oh yeah, really full. This time I'm going to dump it right on top again. And it's going to stay where that mask was. There you go. That's masking. Easy peasy. Super easy. So let me dump all this back in. So the Tim Holtz Distress Glitter is definitely more chunky, not as glittery as you would necessarily think. Wow, they have filled this thing to the brim. I'm gonna put that over there. I'm gonna dump that in there. They have that one filled to the brim. Not quite as shiny, glittery, very easy to use. And with the Scrapbooking tape, you don't have to use any kind of a glue. Now, I'm going to take another piece of chipboard, I've got a piece of chipboard right here, and I am going to cut out another one of my alterations. Let's use a different one this time. Let's pull over my Big Shot machine, my do not cut plate down, and if you don't understand why we use a do not cut plate, I like a plate that's nice and flat on my bottom. That way it sails through my machine very easy. If your plate tends to be a little warped, sometimes you have to go up and underneath. The do not cut plate just makes it nice and smooth and easy. I've got my chipboard. I've put my Scrapbooking tape across the top of my chipboard, and I'm going to run it on through. Cracks and creaks, no problem. Pop it right out, and I'm going to move this off to the side. Now this time I didn't put the Scrapbooking on the back, and there's a reason for that. Pop out some of my little guys. I'll leave some of them in. Pop out a few of them. This time I'm going to use my glitter first. I'm going to put my glitter down here first. So I'm going to open it up, expose my sticky. Remember, you've now made a mask. This is a mask. You can save this forever and use it again and again and again. But I'm going to take a little bit of my glitter. Oh, I don't know. Okay, let's go with the purple again. And just dump it right on. And that looks okay. Brush off. And put it away. Now what I want to show you here is if you decide to put glitter on your cardstock on the base of your card. I've got my cardstock here. Let's say I want to glitter this, and then I wanted to put this on top as an embellishment. The best way to do that is not having the Scrapbooking tape on the back and on the top. You can do that when you're putting it straight to a cardstock or paper. But let's say I want to glitter this. And let's grab that red. Not that it's going to look fabulous, but it's right here and handy. Okay. I almost made my mistake. I almost did what I wasn't supposed to do. So I've got my sticky right there. Instead of putting my red glitter on and then trying to adhere this, even if I had the Scrapbooking tape on the back, because this is a plastic and a thicker glitter, you can put your embellishment on it if I had the Scrapbooking on the back and I glittered this, but I'm not so sure that it will stay forever. It may in time pop off, and that's not what we want to do. So what you are going to do is you're going to put your glittered piece or your embossed piece or your inked piece, whatever you did to this, if you want to glitter the background, you're going to lay this down first. You're going to lay that down first. Give it a press, and then you're going to run the additional color glitter over the top. And that glitter is going to fill in all the nooks and crannies. That glitter is going to fill in all those nooks and crannies, and you are sure you've got a very good bond between your die cut piece and your paper because you attached it straight to the Scrapbooking tape, and the glitter then came in and filled all the excess. When you're using a thicker, chunkier glitter, you need to do that. You need to think about your layering. Very pretty. Not crazy about the green with the purple and the red, but hey, it's all good. You get the gist. So when you're doing straight to cardstock, You absolutely can put sukwing on both sides of whatever you're doing, whether it be paper you're not crazy about or chipboard, whatever it is, you can put your sukwing to both and then use the top to add your glitter or your beads and then use the bottom as part of your sticker. But if you're going to use a chunky glitter first or as a bottom, you want to go ahead and put the sukwing directly to your cardstock, die cut out your piece with the sukwing on top, glitter it, and then adhere that before you glitter the background. Glittering the background will be the last thing you do. Normally you would think it's the first thing you do, but no, you gotta reverse it. That way you get really good adhesion, a good bond between the die cut and the paper. Okay? We are gonna move on. I have got so many samples to show you, holy smokes. Now, Viva Decor has got some new product out, and it's absolutely gorgeous. There's some that's brand new, there's some that's a little bit old, but it is absolutely beautiful. And we're gonna use it with the chipboard. So I've got my chipboard here again, and if I wanted to make it a sticker, that's what we're gonna use it for, is a sticker this time. I only need the sukwing on one side because the other side we're going to use with the Viva Decor product, and that product you're going to paint on. So let's grab a different alterations, one of his frameworks. There's 5 of them total. Let's bring our machine back on over and let's die cut again. Now if you've noticed, I've put my die this way, I've put my die this way. It doesn't matter which way you put the die, just so long as it gets through the machine. And send it on through. Creaks and cracks are okay. And let's pop it out. See how easy it pops out? It's awesomeness, isn't it? And I save all these little bits. I'm going to show you cards that we've done with these little bits and pieces. Now we're going to use the sukwing this time as a sticker. So I'm going to work with the chipboard side. And we have got some new product from Viva Decor. I've got in the Fiero line, and it's a metallic. I need to tell you, it's really thick and it's thick. It's very thick. Can you see? It's not quite, maybe peanut butter consistency, I guess would be my guess, peanut butter consistency. It's only comes in metallic colors, and it has, when it's finished, this vintage rough kind of feel to it. It's got a textural element that you can't find in other product, and it's easy to use. You just use a paintbrush and some water and you paint it on, and it is opaque. See how thick it is? It's just, yeah, maybe frosting or your peanut butter, and I'm just going to paint it right on. Because it is opaque, you can do the same thing. You can grab ugly cardstock, colors that you would never use, and you can die cut, and you can paint right over the top of that color that doesn't make you happy. We're using the chipboard because we've got a steel rule die. And the only time you can cut chipboard is when you have a steel rule die. So if you want something with a little more dimension and a little more element to it, we want to cut something a little bit heavier. So you just paint it on. And this is the copper, yeah? Yeah, this is the copper. When it's dry, it has kind of this rough textural element, this vintagey, distressed. It's really awesome. It really is. I hope you can see the different textures that are coming up from there. That's all from the Fiero line. It's, you can feel the sand or the grit or whatever it is, and when you move it, you get these flashes of flat, which shine beautifully mixed with the rough textural portions of what you've painted, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Now, like I said, you can take it and you can paint over cardstock. So I cut some out of this really bright pink cardstock, and all you have to do is go in and paint right over the top of it. And that cardstock is going to disappear because it is opaque. So those little scraps that you don't know what to do with, let's see if I can hold it up here. Those little scraps that you just don't know what to do with, that you're saving because there must be a reason you'll use them at some time. Use them when you're using an opaque medium over the top because you'll never see them again. I used a little bit of gold here. I used the copper there just to cover it up. And I could continue on. And because we have got the sticky on the back, once it's done drying, it's ready to adhere to whatever it is we're doing, whether it be a metal tin or some acetate or paper or cardstock or a picture frame. Because it's got that sukwang tape on the back, you then don't have to try and add glue to stick it down to whatever it is you want to do. Fierro is really, it's a very cool product. And again, when you get it, it is quite thick. You want to keep the lid on it really well. Comes in a bunch of different colors. This is the green gold. This is the gold. I think that's what I used. I used the gold here. And it's water soluble, so you just rinse your brush. Yes, you can paint it on metal. Yes, you can paint it on plastic. Absolutely. And of course, all over your paper. But Viva Decor also has another product out, and it is called Maya Gold. Now this is much more liquidy, and it reminds me of their liquid metal, but I like the container better because the liquid metal was glass. It came in a glass container and it had a very small opening. I like this much better. I like the container, the packaging much better, and the colors are simply gorgeous. This too is an opaque product. So this too you can use with paper that you don't like. You can just paint right over the top of it and you'll never see it again. So we will take our, let's pull another one. I think I'll end up doing all of the alterations. You'll be able to see them all. Let's pull our die cut machine over and run it through really fast. I've got my do not cut plate down at the bottom, my die, my chipboard with my sukwang just on the back because we're only going to make a sticker out of it. We're not going to adhere any glitter, so I don't need it to be double. And we're going to send it on through. Oh, the honeycomb is so totally cool. Oh, look at all those bits and pieces that fall out. Now, we saved all of our bits and pieces from this make and take because you just never know when you're going to need them. I have a whole... Can you hear that? That's all filled with these little pieces because they've got sukwang tape on them. I'm not going to throw them away. There's something that we can do with them at some point. I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to pull this on out. And this time we've got the honeycomb. Now I'm going to take some of the gold, the Maya Gold, and I'm going to use this. Let's see, I think I'll use this color. This one's beautiful. This color is olive. I don't know why they call it olive. It doesn't look anything like olive to me, but okay. Open it up. And I've got my lid cracked back just a little bit. Do you see that rich color in there? Can you see that? I hope you can see that. Can you see how gorgeous that is? And all I'm going to do is take it and paint it. I think I'm going to use a little piece of chipboard, put down. I'm just going to take it and paint it. And it's going to give me a metal effect in beautiful colors. I want to say this comes in 24 colors, and all of them are just gorgeous. And with just a little bit of paint, you totally transform that chipboard. And because we put the souk wing on the back, all we have to do is peel off the back and attach it to a piece of cardstock or whatever we're working with, and no glue needed. But the colors are just amazing. Let me rinse that off and grab another color real quick. It dries really fast, and this goes a long, long way. What I can tell you is you need to make sure that the lid is on nice and tight. Nice and tight. Let's try the blue. Shake it up. We leave the little silver on. We just bend it back. Grab some of the blue. Let's see, oh yeah, they're just beautiful. Just a little piece of paper underneath as you're painting. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm just blending them into each other. You can do that, they will blend. As long as they're wet, you can blend them into each other and make an ombre effect there. Isn't that gorgeous? Let's grab one more color because I'm almost done, so we might as well finish, right? What other color do I have? I've got a silver. So give it a shake. Open it up. My gosh, this will go on metal. This will go on plastic. This is good for outdoor use. Once it's dry, it's dry. You could paint pottery with it. It's unlimited what you can do with some of this Viva Decor product. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's not just for paper. Paint your acetate. Ooh. I'm a little impressed with myself. I love it. It's absolutely beautiful and easy to use. And once it's dry, it's dry. You can blend with it while it's wet, but once it's dry, it's dry. And just a little bit of water and inexpensive paintbrush. Do not buy expensive paintbrushes to do this. Just go buy. Sometimes Walmart has a pack of like 10 of them for $1.99 in the kids section. That'll work. It's just to get the paint on. So pretty. And then because we have made it a sticker, I just take that off and plop it on down to whatever we want to do. Now you may be saying, but I'm not a card maker. How do I use these dies when I'm not a card maker? That's easy. The dies line up. They allow you to hook them together so that you can make borders, you can make backgrounds, you could make a long 12-inch border. It's up to you. You can make an entire background on a scrapbooking page with these dies because they allow you to line them up. So here we've got this one. These don't match, but you'll get the gist. They allow you to line them up so that you can create the width that makes you happy. Here we've got a piece here that's got the paper on it that we're not necessarily in love with. Not a problem. Just take your Maya Gold and paint right over the top. It's an opaque medium, so when you're done, you're never going to know that that paper was underneath. What a great way to get rid of all that extra in that bag you've been keeping but not knowing what to do with, but afraid to throw away. I've got a bag like that sitting on my desk. Covers it right up. I love the Viva Decor products because they're so versatile. They make it so that they will work with scrapbooking and crafting products, but they also make it so that if you are into pottery or if you do yard art or metal fabrication, you can use this with those products. And so it's a universal product for absolutely everybody. And when you combine them with the chipboard to give you a little bit of pop, a little bit of dimension on that project, my gosh, it just looks beautiful. And the only time you can cut the chipboard or the acetate is really when you have a steel rule die. And Tim has done a great job with the alterations, being that you can line them up to make a larger piece. They just fit right together to make a larger piece. All right, I have got lots to show you. Let's talk about what we went over with really quickly though, just so you remember. Now I took our Whirlwind cardstock, or our chipboard, and it comes in 3 weights, 8.5 by 11. We've got the craft cardstock, which is just plain cardstock, but in the chipboard color. We have a lightweight and we have a heavyweight. I have used the lightweight, but yes, if you wanted to, the steel rule dies will go through the heavyweight without any problem. And yes, you can use chipboard and your brand new embossing folders. The embossing folders will emboss on the chipboard and hold the embossing without any problem. But we took and we put sukwing tape not just on one side, but on 2 sides, which will allow us to die cut this out and add glitter to the top or beads to the top or paper to the top. I could pull this off I could take paper, put paper on it, run it through my die, and that would leave me with the die cut that's already ready to stick down because you've got sticky on the back of that die cut. So when you use the sukwing on both sides, you've got a huge opportunity to just create and do whatever you want. However, if you are going to use a chunky glitter as part of your background, you need to put the sukwing tape not on the back side of your die. You need to put the sukwing on the top of your card when you're going to glitter, because we would then pull this off, put down the piece that we want, and then we would glitter all over the top of it. And wherever there's still sticky exposed is where the glitter will. This will ensure that this die cut piece sticks to your project, whether it be on metal or on acetate or on chipboard or just on plain cardstock. Okay, so remember the Tim Holtz glitter, it's a little bit chunkier. It mimics a glass glitter. It's very easy to use. It goes a very long way. We used a mask to do this. And then we moved on to the Viva Decor product, the Fiero, which has this vintage, distressed, worn feel to it in metallic colors. It's just a little bit of yummy. And because it is an opaque product, it covers whatever you're putting it on top of. If you've got paper, like I said, that's just not what you just don't know why you bought it or it's just a scrap, you can cover it with the Fiero. You can cover it with the Maya Gold, which is a more liquidy product that gives more of an all-over metal effect. Here's the Maya Gold. Very pretty. Isn't that pretty? Couldn't you imagine painting that on flowers? Just yum. Okay, I have got tons of samples to show you because I want to show you how everything that Tim Holtz doesn't have to be distressed. It really can be very, very pretty. So here is the make and take that we did. And everybody got to choose which alterations die, frameworks die they wanted to use. So we did them in all the different ones. These are his butterflies. And you can see we left some of the little negative pieces in. And we put the glitter down last because we did the top piece and put that top piece onto the card and then glittered last. But look at how simple and how pretty they are. And I love that we left some of the little bits and pieces in. So that was our make and take. Then we took, and remember how I said you can take 2 of them and mount them together. 2 of them to cover the entire card base. And this we used graphic 45 paper on. And we did a cute guy card. And that's shimmer sheets in there because a steel rule die will cut shimmer sheets with no problem. Here's a tag, also using the shimmer sheets. Easy to do because that steel rule die cuts through just about everything. Look at how pretty these cards are. They're just gorgeous. This one, we just used the bits. We didn't even use the main part of the die. We used the little bits to make them. So you want to save those little bits because look at how cute the embellishment is on that. And again here, we used a piece of shimmer sheet and embossed it down there. We used a framework up here, and then we filled in just a couple little spaces with a pop of color. Just a pop of color. Yvette did these. She did an amazing job. Love Yvette. Then we've got with the Fiero. What a great guy card. It's masculine and it's not too glitzy, but it's got a little metallic going on. And that's using the Fiero product. And I want to say it only comes in 5 or 6 colors. And yes, of course, they'll all be on a YouTube Yummy. But then we've also got where we've used the silver and filled it in with all little different colored bits and pieces. And again. So it's metallic-y, but it's not bright and it's not over the top. Here we've painted. Isn't that gorgeous? We painted the little bits and used the little negative spaces to make the card. Look at how sweet is that. So there's not a solid piece of framework on here. We didn't use a solid piece, we used the little extras. And this was done with the Maya Gold. The color is just gorgeous. Same with the purple. Painted it with the Maya Gold and just made a simple card. This is just 2 pieces of cardstock, paint, some bling, and a ribbon. But how beautiful is that? Then we have some cards to show you. Now we don't have all this product in, but we will. This is teasing you a little bit about the shadow that's coming out from Tim Holtz, a new embossing folder that does the shadow press, and that says wonderful. But you can see all the yummies. Now, Ellison made these cards for us, and we'd like to thank them very, very much for sending these and showing us the shadow press, giving us a sneak preview of them before they come out. So we've used the framework just in the background, just as an added element. And these are some of Tim's newer dies that will be coming out June, July, August. Same with this one. We've got a shadow press on the side, we've got a framework in the back, but look at how lovely, look at how sweet that is. It's just gorgeous. And last but not least, again, this one says beautiful, that's part of the shadow press. And then we've got the framework. And finally, we have our layout. Now, Mary Lynn was out sick this week, so Yvette had to do this. And oh my gosh, she does not do layouts. She is a card girl. I have to tell you, I think she did the most amazing job with this layout. She went ahead and she took the frameworks and she combined them together. So you can see it goes all the way up. She's got the little decorative element over here. She used the Maya Road silver to paint everything. And I think she did a tremendous job. So, oh, and I've got it upside down. Sorry, Yvette. So yay for Yvette. This is her first 12 by 12 layout ever. And Yvette, well, she's a little bit older than I am, so she's been doing this for a very long time, and she's never done a layout, and I think we're gonna put this in the store with a big gold ribbon on it because I think she did an amazing job. All right, so what have we got on sale? For the YouTube Yummies, we're gonna have the Fiero. We're going to have the Maya Gold. We're going to have all the Tim Holtz alterations dies that give you such flexibility because you can expand them. I mean, they really just give you so much to work with, from backgrounds to covering an entire card with it. Just great. I mean, I think it's an awesome idea that they will connect so you can fill in. We will have the Distress Glitter on sale, and we will have, oh, I probably should show some of these. So let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 of the frameworks. And then, as I showed earlier, the Fiero and the Maya Gold. And then we will also have on sale the chipboard. So 3 weights. One is just a craft cardstock, so this will make bases of cards for you if you want them in the crafty color. Then we have the lightweight, which is what we've been using all day long. Cuts with the steel rule dies beautifully. And then the heavier weight, and you can see the difference between the lightweight and the heavyweight. You can see how thick, there's 12 sheets in each, but look at the thickness difference. And yes, your steel rule dies, all your alterations, all your bigs, your Karen Bernstein, anything that's a steel rule thick die will absolutely cut your heavyweight chipboard as well. So I'm gonna tilt on up, and I'm gonna say, hey everybody, it's me, Stacy at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and where are you gonna get all these great products? You are gonna go to www.shop@sms.com. That's shop@sms.com. And if you didn't go run to get your flash sale dies for embossing folders for $19.99, go now. There's only a couple hundred left, and when they're gone, they're gone. And this deal was too good of a deal to pass up. $1 an embossing folder. Oh my gosh, you'll just never see that again. All right, everybody, post your comments and we'll see you in about 10 days. All right? Have a great one, everybody. Bye.